There's a vacuum in the background, vacuum in the background, vacuum in the background making noise. There's a vacuum in the background, a vacuum in the background, there's a vacuum in the background making noise. There's a vacuum, somebody's vacuuming, vacuuming in the background. Background, background, internet! Adam Jones first to the live chat. Oh, Adam Jonas, sorry. Adam Jonas, what's up? What's up, internet? It's a happy, glorious Saturday, the July 22nd of 2017. What is going on? It's a beautiful day out there, and we're getting ready for some Saturday action here in the live stream, or in the world, or in the planet, or in the Tacoma area where I live, and things are doing pretty well. Says it's supposed to be another hot day today, which I suppose is always a good thing, right? It's always nice to have a nice hot day and a little bit of sunshine on your face. We started out with some of that marine layer this morning, which is always entertaining to have clouds in the morning and the sun burn off the clouds. Hello. Let's see. What do we got going today in the live stream video portion? The video portion today will be, I want to show you guys how to drill a glass aquarium because I had to drill one, so we shot some video. I've seen some in pretty poor taste glass drilling videos recently, and I would like to show you guys how to do it properly so that you can actually not break your aquarium or make a huge mess or have a disaster on your hands. And I know that some people were asking about it recently, so it's actually kind of serendipitous timing in order to that we had to drill a tank, because we're getting Viki's tank ready. Viki's tank is mildly scaped at this point. I think she's done kind of the hardscape layout of the driftwood and stuff that she wants to put in there, and so that tank will be coming along fairly soon. That is the little baby tank that is a 75-gallon. That's the baby tank in the fish room. So that 75 will be up and running fairly soon. We'll probably flood the tank today because we were going to go visit my mother, but because Viki's still feeling a little bit down from her surgery earlier this week, I think we're going to end up staying home and not making the 6-hour round trip drive over and back. Just to help. I think that road trips don't take that much out of people, but I think it's just a little added stressor to help keep her healing a little bit better. Adam Jonas says the high is 101 in your area today. And Luke's Aquatics is here. What's up, man? Good morning to you. I don't know if it's morning where you're at, but it's 10:20 here. And Adam Jonas says it's going to be 101, which is crazy. 100 degrees is always crazy. It doesn't matter where you are. When it's that hot out, and that is always mildly dangerous, I guess, right? Or just really uncomfortable. I think they were saying that it's going to be like 81 today here, which is warm enough in the area to do anything that you'd want to do. And I don't think anybody will get heat stroke today unless you stand directly in the sun. Oh, Kansas City, Missouri. Adam is coming out of Kansas City, Missouri. We were in Missouri not last year, the year before. We went to Missouri, and I have to say I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's a little bit more laid back than the area here that we live in Western Washington. Everybody going pretty crazy. Azrael, straight out of Puyallup. I was in Puyallup yesterday. I don't live very far from Puyallup. I'll probably be going to Puyallup fairly soon. You can tell that I'm a local because I know how to say Puyallup. I realize there's a metric, and Azrael will understand this. A couple other people probably in Washington will understand this. There is a perfect metric to find out if somebody is a local from Washington or not, and just get them to say Spokane, Washington, which is the air quote biggest city in eastern Washington, on the eastern half. People not from here say Spokane, always. They always say it that way, but it is pronounced Spokane. It's basically the best way to find out if somebody's from here or not, and Puyallup would be the second one. If you don't know how to say that word right there in the chat, you're probably not from here. Puyallup would be the other one, because every time I've ever showed that to somebody from around, not from around here, they look at that word and just go, what is happening right now with those letters? And they will almost always say that wrong also. Just a little fun fact to all you out there that aren't from where I'm from. But love the Puyallup area. If we could afford some farmland over in Puyallup, it would probably be mildly desirable for us to maybe go there. But we're looking to go probably farther out than Puyallup, though I do like it there for sure. When you first moved here, you said pile up. Yep. But Puyallup would actually be a pretty good explanation of Puyallup, especially if you go a few years back. The traffic back there used to be total nonsense because there was really one of those areas where there was like one road in and one road out kind of situation. Nowadays you can get through there pretty easily because there's multiple ways, but it used to just be a traffic jam pretty regularly to get in and out of Puyallup. But anyhow, enough about Puyallup and Washington. Although, one thing I wanted to mention, I recently got in a mild discussion with a friend of mine who was posting some stuff on the internet, on the face pages, and talking about how dangerous the cities are in the United States, the most dangerous cities and all this stuff. And I ended up reading the study that article was based on, and the numbers there were pretty slated in just gathering evidence. So they were really slated, and I ended up showing the guy, hey, look, here's the study that these numbers are here. That these numbers are completely wrong and whatnot. And to explain to somebody that this is the safest time that anyone has ever existed in. And he got super mad at me and didn't want to acknowledge even the study that this article was written on. And I don't understand that take these days in the world. It kind of weirds me out when you have the evidence and you show it to people, and then they freak out and get mad and throw things down and stomp off and get super pissed. I don't get that. Ruvio really liked it when I had a camera pointed to a good shrimp aquarium while vlogging. Yeah, I liked that too. I guess maybe you haven't been following the channel, which is fine. It's pretty evident that a lot of people haven't been following the massive amounts of videos that I've been putting up. But first of all, my shrimp, we moved to a whole new house where we actually have a office studio here now, so I can actually vlog from in the office here, and I'll show you guys some of the fish tank video while doing the vlog that's actually edited. So maybe you like that, maybe you don't. Another thing is that my shrimp colony died when we moved. We had a huge disaster in the moving process, so my whole shrimp colony died. So I would love to show you a shrimp colony video, but my shrimp colony has expired. So it was about $5,000 worth of shrimp down the drain when some heaters boiled some holding tanks in order to move them. So if you haven't been following that, agreed. I would love to show you guys some shrimp tank videos, but I don't have any shrimp right now other than some cherry shrimp that I got from Potato down in Oregon when we made the trek down to Oregon, which is one of the videos that you might want to go back and take a look at, where we went through Potato's fish room and all that kind of stuff. So, but we are going to be getting some new shrimp colonies. We rebuilt we built a new fish room here at the new place that we moved to, so we do have a new fish room. We have all these new projects. We have all this stuff that we're working on, and part of that is the video portion today. When we get to the video part of the live stream, the format here is about an hour-long live stream with the whole middle section is generally video that I've shot of projects that we're working on, and we can actually have a conversation back and forth, because you guys can actually chat into the video, and we can talk about any of the questions that you guys have back and forth. Maybe if you just send in a message, sometimes I answer stuff and people are like, this isn't a good enough explanation. The reason why I'm doing the live streams this way now is because we can actually have a back and forth. If people have questions after the fact, they can also send those in, and then probably the next day I can get on a live stream and we can get a better explanation of something. If people are still confused about substrates or plumbing or whatever, we can do that. That's why I'm doing it this way. It's much more engaging for me to do it this way, and I believe it's more beneficial to you guys too. Plus, it's more fun. I like doing it this way. It's more fun. But we do have a video portion in the middle here of how drilling a fish tank, how to drill it, what you need to do it, and the actual step-by-step video portion of me actually doing it yesterday. And we also have some coral video from some of the new corals in the new reef tank that we've been working on over the last month or so. But that tank is coming along too. Luke is asking, will you get caridina or neocaridina to the new colony? So the two types of shrimp that we're going to get are both of those. We're actually going to be getting some Blue Dream, which will be Victoria's colony. Is essentially, she's going to be probably doing some tiger shrimps and some Blue Dreams, and then I'm going to be focusing on doing hold on, I gotta close this thing here. I got this stupid thing. I'm going to be focusing on doing some Shadow Panda, which are the blue and black crystals. So we're going to be getting a new crystal colony, and we're going to be getting those Blue Dreams along with some other stuff. We worked out a deal with Flip Aquatics. He's actually going to import the ones that we're going to be getting, and essentially be the middleman, sort of middleman drug dealer, shrimp dealer for us. So pretty excited about that and the little collaboration. Also, Corey at Aquarium Co-op is going to be getting in our large school for the 240, which will be Galaxy Rasboros, if anybody's excited about those. I'm excited to have a big school in the 240, a lot of action in there, and it'll take some of the stress off the apistos that are in there from the Achilles, honestly. That is going to be a big benefit too. And yeah, and as Potato said, I don't understand it. Start from the beginning. Okay, well, we'll just run back about 40 hours worth of video and just start right at the beginning. So I know I know what you're saying, Potato Bro. I don't understand any of it either. But Potato is actually in the chat right now. That's one of the guys' houses that we went to, which is where the Apistos came from that are in the 240, the cherry shrimp, and also the bristlenose plecos that are in there. Which, by the way, hot update. Verbal update. I don't have any video. I'm going to try and shoot a better video of them today. Those bristlenose are doing fantastically. I wouldn't say that one of them's doubled in size, but definitely one of them is quite bigger, and one of them is exceptionally bigger. I don't know if they've doubled in size yet, but they're looking large and doing really well, and just do not give a rat's ass about any of the other fish that are going on, and they're just rocking and doing their own thing. So I'm pretty excited for that. Luke has to go to a yard sale. Well, tend to the yard sale and make some sales, get some scratch, and then you could maybe go buy some fish or something. I don't know. Well, hey, we're 15 minutes in, so we got to do the air quote advertising part. My goal here is to completely get rid of any of the YouTube-based advertisements for Chevy trucks or whatever the hell comes on there. That is one of our main goals here right now, currently. Also, with replacing some of the old equipment that we have here, needs to get replaced, and I'm pretty much threadbare as far as cash goes for camera equipment and stuff at this point. So one of our goals is the, and I don't know why I can't maintain having this in, hold on a second. So one of our main goals is to get one of the cameras here hooked in to the computer, which one of my camera rigs here will actually be hooked in and be the dedicated streaming camera, but I can't do the inputs yet, so we actually need to get a capture card. So that's one of our first goals here, and also replacing the encoding software. The XSplit is what we use right now, and we would like to replace that, but that's our first two goals, and getting rid of the advertising. If you go to the Patreon page right there, it highlights all that kind of stuff, and you can chip in, which I got to point this way. You can chip in on the Patreon there if you like. And a shout out to all the Patreon patronizers. We'll run through those real quick here. We're currently about halfway to our current goal to replace some of this equipment. Long Woo, Steven Scogland, Aquarium Co-op, Joel Gillett, JT, M. Den Hollander, Sashimi Whiskey, Jennifer Sarcino, Matt Gilmete, and Karen KZ Ellis. Those are our current, that's a shout out to our current patronizers, Patreons. Another way to support the channel is to super chat down at the bottom. Click on the super chat button, donate $100 billion, and we'll be off and running and start a new giant aquarium. Wherever you billionaires are, just go ahead and do that, handle that. If you ever need to really get a question in and the chat's running all buck wild, super chatting is a great way to do that. You can also just subscribe, like, share, blah, blah, blah. That is all the free way. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about art that is in the background and that kind of stuff. The easy way to contact me in regards to me making you a painting or a commission piece or any of that kind of stuff is to go to darkstararts.com. Darkstar Arts is all one word, .com. That is my website. If you go there, you can check out a bunch of my paintings and writings and all that kind of stuff. While you're there, click through the Amazon banner and go buy whatever toilet paper, sundries, avocados, pine cones, salt and pepper shakers, whatever you're going to go there and buy at Amazon, go buy that stuff, and it doesn't change the price or anything like that. It just says that we sent you to Amazon, and blah, blah, blah. And we're done with the advertising portion of the live stream. Thank you very much to everyone out there who is kicking in, and I just bashed the whole table here. Sorry about that. But thank you to everybody that is kicking in for sure. Potato saying it's slower for me because I can breed things out, but short on grow out space for now. Yeah. I haven't really been talking too much publicly about this, but if you go to the Patreon page, you guys can see we do have some goals. We have some really lofty goals for some really big tanks. If you guys are into crowdfunding that, then that's where you can do it. If not, we'll do what we can with what we got. If we got to go a shoestring budget, then we'll do it. Thanks, Potato, for the super chat. Oh my God, the super chat shows up on the video now. We have Potato's super chat now shows up into the video feed. Thank you very much, XSplit, for fixing that. Now your super chats actually show up as super chats into it. That is awesome. I didn't even know that they'd finally fixed that. I was trying to fix it myself and probably screwed up some of the programming in XSplit and then had to re-download XSplit. But some people much smarter than me had repaired that, and now it shows up into the chat when people super chat. That is awesome. And he didn't really ask a question, but it's a $5 super chat for an IOU, about 10 more zeros, but I'm short at the moment. I understand. You have to get the easiest way to add more zeros to that would be to acquire Jeff Bezos' routing numbers and swap that in there. But I don't think that's legal, so maybe don't do that. And Kevin Hayes is here, man. Kevin Hayes, what's up? Kevin Hayes out of Florida, my man. What are you doing? What are you doing on Saturday? Thanks for coming out. There wasn't, but anyhow, we got through the advertising portion, blah, blah, blah. What else do I have written down here that I wanted to go over beforehand? Crazy people on the internet getting mad about science, or even reading the study. Okay, that's off there. And there's some new laws going down in Washington, and I want to talk about that later. These stupid driving laws that have gone in Washington are ridiculous. But I don't know if today's the day for that. I don't know if that I'm really excited about it. Quick update on the Kevin Hayes is building a room addition. Easy day though, just electrical rough-in. Oh yeah. Electrical rough-in is one of my favorite days. I love doing I have to admit I love doing electrical work, and I have considered possibly investing more time to go down that road, but I do love doing electrical work, that is for sure. So that's not a bad day at all, especially if you got the walls down. That's a pretty fun day. But let's move on to the video portion, because I don't have too much else to yammer on about today. Oh, cool. The super chat works on this too. All right, as you guys can see illustrated in the video, here are the items that you need for drilling your aquarium. Some tape, some clamps, a drill, a spray bottle of water, and also what I have right here is a template cut out of plywood, okay? This is important. I saw some jackass using a cardboard template the other day for drilling his aquarium. Like a foolish person. I don't know. But cut a template out of a piece of wood. It can be plywood. It can be particle board like this one. It could be a 2x4. It doesn't matter what you use. Get a template and clamp it in place for where you want to drill. Now you guys will notice that I sprayed a little bit of water on there first, and you will notice as I'm drilling along here that I do occasionally spray down the hole that I'm cutting and the bit that I'm using. Now the reason for that, does anybody know what the reason for that is? That is to maintain a cool temperature and move away any debris that is in place. You do not need a garden hose. You don't need a gigantic bucket of water thrown at it. You don't need anything like that. You just need a little spray bottle here to keep the temperature down as you're drilling, and it will also move away any of the particles and debris that are accumulated, aka dust. The sawdust is actually glass here. It will get the dust out of the way also, and it will also keep the bit cool. We need to keep the bit cool because heating up while drilling will A, ruin your drill bit, and B, crack the glass. Okay? If the glass gets hot, the glass will crack. That is just reality, and if you don't like reality, I don't know what to tell you. But that's the reason that the water is here, and you can see that I'm just maintaining a little bit of water. I'm not spraying a fire hose at it. I don't have a pressure washer out or anything crazy like that. I'm just spraying a little bit of water at it to keep it cool and moving along my way through. You can see I'm rotating the drill a little bit. I don't have to worry too much about keeping an insanely steady hand as I move along here because I have the template in place of where I want the hole to go. The template is actually holding the bit straight where I want it to go, and there we are. That was actually a real-time drilling demonstration. So how long did that last? Since we started the video, we are 2 minutes and 58 seconds in. It will take you about 2 minutes to drill a hole into the thickness of this glass is a 75, so I believe it's 3/8 thick. I think it's 3/8 thick. I don't know. I think it's 3/8. Might be 7/16. I don't know. But this is the thickness of glass on a 75, and it takes about 2 minutes to cut a proper hole. You can see me just, because I recently painted the back of this tank, it is a little bit sticky. We did that plastic dip, whatever you want to call it, plastic dip, or as seen on TV, plastic. It's a rubberized spray that we put on there, so it is a little bit sticky right now as it's curing. Today it will be finished in its curing time and should be fine. Potato was correct with cooling. What does he win? He wins a chicken dinner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now, here is a little bit of an issue that I'm not sure I put into the video here or not portion. I think I did. I think I put it into the video here. I may or may not. We'll get to that. Kevin Hayes saying, lol, cardboard, typical idiots. Without them, we wouldn't look smart, so I guess they're needed in the world. Yeah, I guess that's reality. It's all guess comparison, whether or not I'm smart or not. But as a typical idiot, I did actually drill this hole the wrong size. Now, why that is a big deal, you can't just grab a bigger drill bit and drill out a new hole once the hole is already there. So I wanted to show you guys how I dealt with this problem. I used a 42 millimeter hole saw here, and I actually needed a 45. I don't have one. So I actually had to do this at 42 instead of 45, and then I had to work my way through sanding this hole larger and larger and larger, and this is where the time lapse comes in because this took a little while. Now, I do not recommend anybody out there to do what I am doing right now. I'm just showing you how I dealt with the program, with the problem that I encountered, that I have to sand the hole bigger and bigger while using the bit, by using the hole saw and working it through the hole here to make it a little bit larger to fit my bulkhead through. Now, as I said, I will restate, I do not recommend anyone else to try this. This is something that I have years of experience drilling glass, and this is something that I'm good at. You could really screw this up if you don't have a lot of experience doing this. So you want to make sure that you order the right hole saw. I don't know where my 45 went, so I actually ordered a new one this morning, and it will arrive at some point in time. But I don't recommend you to try what I'm doing here, okay? But I did show you at the beginning the correct way. So whereas sometimes I'm a little bit critical of other people's stupid moves, here I am admitting my own stupid move and how I dealt with it when I did something dumb, okay? So if anybody out there wants to get really mad at me, I'm actually showing you my own fuck-ups, and also, so It's fair game. Fair game to make fun of me if you like. All good. But here's how I dealt with the problem. Got the new bulkhead in and got it done. But I do not recommend people to sand a hole like this. It is a good way to crack the tank for sure. If you've never done anything like that before, then like I said, I don't recommend doing that. We got the tank flipped over, and we're actually going to do some of the plumbing here. We have one overflow and one return line. You'll notice that they're the same size. They're both 1 inch. They are both 1 inch, and that is a little bit odd. That is not how I would normally do it. Now, the reason that we're doing that is because I want 1 inch lines for further projects down the road with this tank. And the pump that we're using to return up from the sump is actually a really adjustable pump, because it is a DC operated pump, so you can actually set it at the speed that you want. You don't have to use any kind of ball valves or anything like that. So that's why I ended up doing just 1 inch and 1 inch on both sides. And like I said, later on, this tank will be used in a different application, so I wanted the holes to be 1 inch and 1 inch. And we'll get to that months and months down the road. I wouldn't worry about that. Just reading the chat over here, trying to keep up on the chat here, guys. Jadron just got here. What do you think about the cheap bits on Amazon or Harbor Freight if you're only drilling a few times? Jadron, that is exactly what I am using right here. The cheap kind of Chinese bits that that you generally get. I buy them on Amazon, and that's where I get them from. They're super cheap. You will only get 1 or 2 or 3, 4 holes out of them. If you keep them cool while drilling, they will last. They will last a bit longer, you might be able to get more holes out of them. But those cheap glass drilling bits, just remember, they are essentially disposable. You're going to be using them for a little bit, and then you're going to throw them out once they're dull. So keep that in mind, that you are getting a cheap tool that will work. Try to maintain it as long as you can, but they are essentially disposable. But that's exactly where I get them from. If you go to the my main page, I actually have some links to them on the Amazon store, which I will tell you guys that the Amazon store is going away. Amazon is taking that feature away, so use it while you can. If not, I will do my best. If you send me a message, I can get you links to certain things that I use on a regular basis. But yes, that is exactly what I use, and that's what I'm using in this video, Jadrins. Just want to make sure that you know. And some of them are a little bit better. Some of them are a little bit better than others. But these cheap ones are just cheap, so just keep that way. Dion 0026 is here. Hey man, what's going on? Thanks for coming out. As Potato was saying, those are the people that make my head hurt when I have to explain how to fix a problem 3 times and come back to complain when they didn't listen in the first place. Yeah, that's unfortunately that's a reality of the world we live in these days. Luke just came back and some kid just broke a 20 long. You were selling it and had to pay $30. Oh, well, how'd they break it? That sucks. That sucks that the tank got broken. But I don't know. Maybe he was a jerk and broke it on purpose or something. As Aurelius 99 is asking, what size do you need for a 1-inch bulkhead? Okay. Here's the deal, guys. I want to explain bulkheads and hole saws real quick. No hole saw or bulkhead is created exactly the same, okay? So if, say, you get in a 1.5-inch bulkhead or a 1-inch bulkhead or whatever, different brands take a different hole size, which is why I have a big box of a whole bunch of hole saws, because I can match them up and figure out which size they are. A 1-inch bulkhead is supposed to take a 45 millimeter hole saw. So if you use the Lifeguard Aquatics ones, those ones will take a 45 millimeter hole saw, but brand by brand bulkheads all take a different hole. So I recommend getting like a variety pack in if for these hole saws, if you were going to get some of that, because it's really only like a couple more dollars. I even looked at a pack this morning. I think you get like 20 different hole saws for $15 or something like that. So not a huge investment to have a bunch of different sizes, but you make sure that you don't want to buy all those tiny hole saws. You're never going to use those unless you do a lot of tile work, which I do. So I always just buy the big pack. But always buy the ones that are bigger. A 1.5 is supposed to take a 60 millimeter hole saw or a 58 millimeter. Are generally those are generally what 1.5s take, are 58 or 60 millimeter. Valley Fish coming in late asking what's in the squirt bottle. The squirt bottle is filled with water, tap water, actually, straight out of the tap. It's actually just water for cooling. I've had a lot of people. This is the second time we've watched this little time-lapse video here, and we were talking about it earlier. The whole reason for the spray bottle on there is just for cooling. It's water. That's all. You don't need a garden hose. You don't need a pressure washer. You don't need a gigantic amount of water. You just need a little bit of water to keep your bit cool. It's the same process as like drilling steel, whereas with steel, you typically wouldn't use water to keep your bit cool. You might use a little bit of oil to keep your bit cool, but it's the exact same drilling process. You're keeping the bit cool, you're keeping the surface cool of what you're cutting, and that is what that spray bottle is for. I saw a guy recently with a garden hose and some cardboard trying to cut out his hole out of a fish tank, and it was just absurd. I don't know, and I'm not talking shit, because like I said, earlier in the video, I actually screwed this up because I didn't have the right hole saw to cut this, and I'm saying don't do what I'm doing here and drill the hole bigger. Don't do that. I have a lot of experience with sanding and cutting glass and all that kind of stuff, so it is fairly simple for me to do a jackass thing like this, but I would not recommend, if you don't have a lot of experience, to do this. If you do have a lot of experience working with glass, it wouldn't matter what I tell you anyhow, because you would do the same thing that I would do here. But if you don't have a lot of experience, you stand a really big chance to break this tank and to break the glass. But like I said, I have a lot of experience screwing around with glass and doing goofy stuff like this, so I'm kind of confident to deal with it. Ashley Thomas is asking, what's the reason behind drilling a smaller size hole for the return pump? Okay, so the return pump, you think it is like a garden hose. It's got pressure behind it. It's pushing water through. It doesn't need as big of a hole as the overflow line, which is actually just operating through gravity. So the overflow is actually water that's just falling via gravity. So that's the difference. You need a bigger pipe to accommodate the gravity flow of water versus pressurized forced water coming in. Yickadee. Who's Yickadee? Somebody's saying, sup, Yickadee. I don't know what that means. OG's Fish Room. What's up? Maybe that's me. Maybe I'm Yickadee. I don't know. I threw a baseball at the Luke's Aquatics is saying that kid threw a baseball and broke a fish tank. Oh, I could see how that would be. Valley Fish, I'm just giving you a hard time for showing up late. I like giving people a hard time, so I'm not ragging on you. I'm just giving you a hard time. But that's the whole reason I do this live stream. If you guys have questions and stuff, and if things are confusing you, pop in, ask, and see what's going on. Surprises! Oh, Viki came in and dropped the surprises on us. Oh, you got to watch out. Sometimes my lady comes sneaking up from behind. You got to watch out. Big Pedro will be happy that some surprises happened today, I think. We actually, as we were scrolling through the chat here. Potato super chatted earlier, and the super chat actually comes colored up in the video feed now. Finally, XSplit finally fixed that. So I'm pretty stoked. But as you guys can see, this is just the overflow and the return. So I got a 90-degree elbow on there for the return, and I got a T on there for the overflow. Okay, I think we've done enough tank drilling for today. Let's move on to some Goniopora opening in time-lapse feature. As we come here to the reef in Tacoma, and we quietly wait for the lights to come on and the corals to open, you will notice that the Goniopora very much appreciates the highlight, as the bubble tip anemone does not and runs away. You will also see a space alien type creature roaming about in the left-hand corner with its weird googly eyes and its tiny little elephant trunk feature type deal, cloaked in a hard shell, also known as a conch. Probably comes from Jupiter, though we can't be 100% certain at this point in time. The genetic engineering of this strange creature has confounded scientists for centuries. As you guys know, we added the Goniopora in here recently. We also have the gobies, the firefish, and these conchs, along with some hermit crabs, and that bubble tip anemone, along with a couple of other, there's a mushroom in here somewhere, and a Kenya tree. So I wanted to get into doing more of these kind of time-lapse videos with the reef, because there's always a lot of action in a reef tank that I find to be really exciting at the time-lapse pace. I'm not sure. Some people might hate it. We'll find out. We'll find out as things come along. I've been trying to do some time-lapse stuff on the freshwater tank, but honestly, it's pretty much just kind of chaos in there as far as the fish moving, because the fish that I can really shoot are the killifish that are in there right now, and the Gardnerarnia. I'm forgetting how to say that. Gardneri. God, there we go. I had to Google it like a dope. Gardneri killies in there are just so mobile that they move all over the place. One of the cool things about the firefish, and one of the reasons I'm doing the firefish school, which is currently only 5, but will be moving up to about 20, depending on how much I can do buying reef stuff. I'm going to move them up to at least 10 at minimum. But one of the really cool things about the firefish is once you get up into a big enough group, they really kind of start to school together. And I'm really hoping the breeding program for the reef right now is to try and breed some of these firefish gobies. That is the long-term goal as far as breeding in this tank, and then the rest is just essentially fun stuff like corals. We're probably going to add a couple more engineer gobies and some shrimp and things coming along as we move along here. There also is a huge frag swap that Carson in the chat right there and I are going to be going to with Viki and oh, Jesus, I'm having a brain fart. Now I feel like an idiot. Either way, we're taking our ladies to the frag swap, and it seems to be a barbecue. So we're going to see how that goes. Probably not going to get too crazy into getting very many other corals at this point. Although we did yesterday go to the store and acquire some new acrylic rod, which I'm actually, you guys know I was going to use some holdfast to escape some more of the rock in here. I actually decided to go a different direction. I called a buddy of mine, and I was trying to get some advice on the holdfast. Because everything was wet, I've always ever used the holdfast when everything was dry. And he was just like, dude, what are you doing? I was like, hey, man, what do you mean, what am I doing? And he was like, I don't know why you wouldn't drill it and use rod. And I was like, you're correct, being a dope. So went and picked up some acrylic rod yesterday. I got about, I don't know, 12 feet of the stuff, so I'll have plenty of that for really forever, basically. We got the acrylic rod, so we'll be doing some scaping into this tank to do more of that. And I don't know that I'm going to be getting a lot of more coral frags unless a really good deals come up in some of the local stuff, which does have a tendency to happen from time to time. So we'll see what kind of goes on. Jadrin, firefish love to jump to their death. I speak from experience. Yeah, they sometimes do jump in a smaller tank, but this tank is pretty tall, and they don't seem to even get too high up. So that's kind of my hope that they aren't going to jump. But I did try to source some lid material yesterday when we were at the that acrylic store. We were at a local acrylic store called Caltech, I believe is what they were called. Looking at some of the stuff that they had, they didn't have anything quite big enough to make lids for the 180 here. I have lid for the overflow and that kind of stuff, but I'm considering maybe just going to grab some glass sheet and cut those for the lids on this. But in the meantime, I think it's a deep enough tank that they don't seem to even migrate very much to the top, but I guess fingers crossed on that one. I hope they don't jump out. That sucks when fish jump out. They never jump out when you're standing right there. You know what I mean? They only jump out when it's like the middle of the night and you come back to a crispy critter. You know what I mean? Hold on. I'm trying to get the messages here. Okay. Okie dokie. All right. Sorry, I just got an email about another fish tank. Don't tell Viki. She's probably listening. Surprises! She's probably listening, but is it another tank? I don't know. Don't talk really quietly into the mic because it's a secret. Secrets. He had okay, so Jader had them in a 125. Well, that sucks. Oh, I'm burping. Sorry. If you're ever interested in least killifish, the dwarf live bearers, you can catch them locally in Florida. Cool little fish. I've never shipped before, but I'm sure we could get it done. All right, Kevin. Well, maybe we'll. I'll have to look into that fish or anything before I get into doing anything like that. Excuse me. Something like go down the wrong pipe over here. All right. Well, that seems to be kind of the end of the video portion today. I also have some other videos we'll be editing and putting up fairly soon, but we'll do a better edited version of drilling the tank later with me probably shouting in the background and waving my arms around and acting like a maniac. I think we pretty much got to everybody's questions. I'm not sure if we missed anybody's. Gosh. Well, something's bugging me right now in my throat. Something's bugging my throat. Yeah, I think that's kind of about it for today. I'm going to go ahead and mention again the Patreon page and anybody out there that's freaking out about there is one goal on there that is a $26,000 goal. The reason for that is we have the invoice together, but we don't have the funding for a 22,000 gallon tank that would actually be a modular unit that we'd be able to load up onto a truck and drive around city to city. Is that a big goal? Probably. It's a huge lofty goal to be able to try and do something like that, but that is one of the big reasons for setting up that Patreon. Also, the Patreon is a great way for you guys to track developments as things go along with stuff that we're working on, and seeing where things should be at, where things are going. It's one of the great things about the kind of Patreon page versus just random analytics that you guys will never ever see or any of that kind of stuff. You guys can actually go there and see what's actually happening in regards to where like the funding is at, or this or that or the other thing. Let's say that one of our goals was like, I need to get a plane ticket or something. And you could actually go to the Patreon and go like, well, hey, wait a minute, that's funded. Why didn't you do that? That's another of the big reasons why I like the Patreon page, because you can actually, it's kind of a full disclosure thing. You guys can go there and see exactly what's happening as things come along. And I don't ever want to have stuff be behind a paywall. If you guys are familiar with what a paywall is, that's just like you have to pay to get access to whatever is going on. So my goal is to never have a paywall or anything like that. I don't like paywalls myself. They're not something I enjoy to have to navigate through, even if they're $1. It's like I don't want to get all my information out there. I just want to watch the stuff. So my stuff will never be behind a paywall. So if you guys want to help encourage the growth of this stuff that we're doing, you guys can do that if you like. If not, that's cool too. But that's what's going on today on a Saturday. It seems like everybody's questions are dropping off and a bunch of people are quitting watching. So I guess the natural progression of things is to go ahead and start ending this thing. But just got a message from Luke's Aquatics. Not sure if you're selling that shrimp painting behind you, but I would love to buy it. If you are, I will be in the Tacoma soon. Reach me here. Okay, that's kind of a vague thing. What if I told you it was $200,000? Now you're on the hook. Anybody that wants to come and if you want to meet up with me or contact me or any of that kind of stuff, you can go to darkstararts.com. All my contact information is there. You can email me or message me or whatever from Darkstar Arts. You can get a hold of me pretty readily there. That is probably the easiest way to do it. And I know what is going on with that stuff, if that makes sense. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle. It doesn't get lost in the shuffle of all the other incoming nonsense that I got. So if anybody wants art or any of that kind of stuff, go that route. People like Kevin and Carson can just call me on the phone and we'll sort it out. Are there different rules for different fools? Yes, of course there are. If I don't know you, I don't know you. But I know Potato, and I'll call him, and I'll say, hi, how you doing? How you feeling? You feeling good? Okay, I like that. But special thanks to everybody. Special thanks to Potato for your super chatting today. And Carson is asking if we'll see Potato in Olympia for the frag swap. I'm not sure. I know that that he would be much welcome at that. We'll see if we can't work that out. Maybe I'll bug Potato and see if he can come too. All right. Anyhow, that's it for today. Hope everyone has a happy Saturday. If you all get super stoked and excited, maybe I'll do a live stream later tonight. Who knows? It's up to you guys if we're doing another one or not. Otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow morning at some point in time. I'd probably say probably around 10 o'clock specific time is around the time that try to do the Sunday live stream. Otherwise, we're here generally in the evening from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. specific time, Monday through Friday. Have a fantastic day out there. Stay safe. Run around in the sun because the weather is awesome. And go ahead and cover up your ears because here comes the later.